All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I definitely missed you guys. Hope you all missed me. We are here on a beautiful Monday. Hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Spent a lot of time with the family, maybe some barbecue. And if not, hope you got some real, much needed, some self time, some nice little, relaxation. Does the body good. Hell yeah. So, hey guys, thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Just kind of, give you guys a little taste what we're going to go through today. Is our first segment. We're going to talk about WWE Friday Night SmackDown. Then we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw preview. Then we're going to have our men's power ranking, our men's wrestling power ranking. Headed into the week, a lot of times, you kind of are looking for which superstar to kind of look into. This includes, NWA. This includes the Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Basically, your whole list for the men's wrestling. And the fourth segment, we're going to jump into the women's power rankings. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're going to have the best wrestlers in the whole entire world. We're going to, touch on some subjects. In our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about our Memorial Monday. Always, every Monday, I try my best to look in the past about WWE, wrestling icons or just, wrestling icons in general that have passed away, but they cemented their legacy within professional wrestling. Thus, we remember them for being so amazing and so great. So, yeah, that's my show. Before we start, I would ask you to like and follow the show. Superman punch that like and subscribe button as always. And always remember to use the tips and donations link at the GSMCpodcast.net. Show me your questions. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Tell me what you think as a wrestling fan. Tell me your predictions. Tell me who you think is especially in the power rankings in segment 3 and 4. Tell me how you feel. Tell me if you feel like they're a little too high, they're a little too low, or if I completely dogged and shaded somebody out. Which is a possibility, which is a huge possibility because I am your wrestling laureate. I will never ever deny that fact. But wrestling is a matter of perspective. It's very subjective. So, if you have a pretty, legitimate argument toward the subject matter, go ahead and, give it a share. Give it a share. Tell me how you feel. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. We have our WWE SmackDown review. So WWE live in Albany, New York. We had Nia Jax's coronation, which was pretty cool. She's the new queen of the ring, and she is coming after Bayley. And Bayley doesn't really I don't think she really stands a chance, to be honest. I feel like Nia Jax, she's just so dominant, and Bayley right now, I think she still has a little hangover from her whole, from that WrestleMania high. That WrestleMania high, maybe perhaps, missing damage control a little bit because she's gonna need everybody and their mother to like help her beat Nia Jax. Nia Jax, she's the queen. She's confident, and she has a number 1 title shot for Bayley's WWE Women's Championship. So Bayley should be scared. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And we're gonna find out, who's going to be Cody's next opponent in Glasgow, Scotland at Clash at the Castle. I ultimately feel like there's a lot of definitely on this episode of WWE SmackDown, it was pretty crazy. But the show started off with a nice little the Bloodline versus Street Profits being announced. Kind of knew that was gonna happen. Nia Jax crowned as queen, and Bayley came, but she was attacked by Piper Niven. I love what WWE does in terms of as soon as we go to someone's home country, they did it with Mansoor, they did it with Drew McIntyre against Roman Reigns, where he ultimately got screwed thanks to I think at that time it was Solo Sikoa. So definitely going to be awesome. I'm happy for Piper Niven, of course. She achieved a number 1 contendership. Don't really think it's going to go any further than that. But obviously, there could be other things where Piper could find herself the winner. Maybe Chelsea Green gets, in the mix. But ultimately, you kind of have to establish who's going to fight Nia Jax at SummerSlam. And I'm like, okay, we could have Piper Niven against Nia Jax. I feel like Piper would put up a way better fight than Bayley. But Bayley, she has the experience. I don't think she's going to win the WWE Women's Championship at Clash at the Castle. Obviously, Piper Niven coming home to Scotland. But I don't know. It should be pretty darn interesting to kind of find out. Next, AJ Styles said he's going to address his future, which we will dig into next. DIY's Tommaso Ciampa defeated Austin Theory. It was pretty cool because, in the past, Gargano and Theory has had a lot of bad blood. And, of course, Tommaso Ciampa, the ultimate opportunistic man, he rolled up Theory for that 1, 2, 3, which was pretty darn awesome. The LA Knight wants Logan Paul. I kind of saw this coming from a mile away at WWE SummerSlam. Logan Paul's going to be in his hometown. It's going to be super dope. And then you have the megastar, LA Knight, amazing wrestler. I feel like this is going to be kind of a recipe for success here. I really don't see how this would fail. Logan Paul against the LA Knight would be probably one of the best matches for the WWE SummerSlam. Could possibly be the main event, and I'm not just saying that because Logan Paul's going home. I love Cody Rhodes, I honestly do, but I feel like whoever he's going to fight at SummerSlam, I feel like he's not going to drop the title. Or well, he could drop a match. He could drop a match via disqualification or something like that, and he gets attacked. But it's going to be interesting to find out who his SummerSlam opponent's going to be, especially after what happened. We will get into as soon as we kind of pass by it here. So happy for DIY. Love DIY. They're going to fight Austin Theory and A-Town Down Under, Grayson Waller for the WWE Tag Team Championships, which is right. Because if you are on the tag team division, and I can't keep reiterating this, time and time again, because I hate it when two single stars come together to form a tag team to win a championship. Absolutely hate it. I feel like WWE tag team division and championships and news and whatever, the spotlight, however you want to depict it. I feel like it belongs to an actual tag team, kind of like the New Day or like the Usos or AOP or Tyler Bates and Pete Dunne, which that's still kind of pushing it, but I don't know. I just there's been some good examples that's come from that. Obviously, you have D-Generation X, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, and then you also have once when the Bar did it, the Bar with Cesaro and Sheamus. That was I was surprised, and it was a pretty good tag team. And you have it in the women's division. You have Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair that should be, beating each other's brains out for the number one contendership to fight Bayley. But no, they teamed up together to have that women's world tag team titles. So, it could be interesting to kind of find out what's going on with that. But I would love DIY to kind of come out of, NXT. They've been so patient. I feel like Johnny Gargano, he debuted on Monday Night Raw right when everybody else kind of did, Malachi Black, Lars Sullivan, and Keith Lee. And he went back down to NXT. He came up. If there's anybody who deserves a championship belt, it's got to be Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano is definitely one of the best in-ring competitors I've ever seen. Tommaso Ciampa, they try to kind of, have them fight against each other, which I didn't really like. Of course, when it comes to best friends, when it comes to tag teams, when it comes to former tag team champions in NXT or Raw or SmackDown that break up to kind of have a feud, it's always really badass. It's always really cool. They put on some good matchups, some good promos because they know each other like the back of their hand. That chemistry is always really good for professional wrestling. So we'd love to see Johnny Gargano DIY to kind of pull up. I don't even think it's the upset, to be honest. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, what are you trying to do? You're trying to downplay Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm really not. I just feel like there were way better. DIY has way better chemistry, and they're a way better tag team, and I feel like they should, be on the tag team spotlight more than, Austin Theory, A-Town Down Under, whatever you like to call them. So yeah. Next we have obviously, like I said before, we had LA Knight that wants Logan Paul. He called out Carmelo Hayes, and oh god, and I'm pretty sure everybody that watched Friday Night SmackDown kind of cringed when they heard this. Once when Carmelo Hayes messed up the promo, bro. I can't believe it. He said, "If you're gonna face LA," and he was like, "What are you talking? Like, are you looking in a mirror and not facing me?" Like, oh my god, I like still like I get like Facebook feeds or Instagram feeds or TikTok, and that pops up. I'm like, dude, like that's so embarrassing. But it's not that it's. I bet you after once when the camera went off, Carmelo Hayes was like, damn, and they yelling. I was like, you know what, bro? It's okay. You'll get the next one. You know what I mean? But oh my god, he messed up that promo, Carmelo. No, you were doing so good. You were doing so good, dude. But that was pretty bad. That was very bad by Carmelo Hayes. Hopefully you know he bounces back on SmackDown, which should be interesting to kind of find out. But I don't know. I thought it was kind of crazy. I thought it was kind of awesome, to be honest. Kind of moving on. We have Apollo Crews against Andrade. Legado del Fantasma wants Andrade, but as soon as the match ended, you had Apollo Crews lose. But a good match. The moment I kind of saw Apollo Crews in there against Andrade, I was like, all right, great. He's just another jobber now. Great. You have one of the most talented athletes that could have been great in 205 Live. That was great in WWE main event. And he could be great in NXT level up, but you kind of had him, beaten against Andrade, but hey, he showed signs of strength. And I thought that was really good. Definitely something that Paul Levesque wants to establish in every match is that just because somebody loses this match, they don't like walk out a loser. Kind of like under the Vince McMahon era, where when somebody lost, they freaking lost. They lost. They were terrible. Negative depiction, negative connotated meaning, or whatever you like to call it. But under this Paul Levesque, you're seeing people who lose this match aren't necessarily losing any momentum toward their career or anything like that. It was just like, hey, like, you got the better of me. Next time, I'm going to try to get the better of you, which is what wrestling should have been from the get go, which is what martial arts and combat sports is all about. The UFC, you have, like I said before, like you have a lot of, you know, if you've ever kind of been to like a taekwondo session or any kind of like jujitsu, kickboxing or whatever, um a lot of times it's about respect for your opponent. It's about respect for opponent. That's why sometimes they kind of, they take a lot of rounds. They kind of set them apart. They're like, all right, like let's get this reestablished. Let's give them some time to kind of fight. And after every match, people shake hands. It's not to kind of beat the crap out of each other, so to speak. It's that you guys have this art form. You guys have this art that you practice really, really like a long time. It's all about respect. And I feel like this new generation of WWE is going to be built on respect. Not really like, and I know this might sound crazy. Like, I don't think it's really based off of like winners and like losers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's more respect based. Which I feel like that's what you're part of your professional wrestling aspect. It's entertainment. It's entertainment to an extent. Physical harm comes to your body. That's why you kind of have you kind of have that respect. You know what I mean? And I feel like Paul Levesque does that a lot better than Vince McMahon does in terms of wrestling bookings and stuff like that. But then, like I said, that's my opinion. Running out of time on this segment, so let's kind of hurry this up. Paul Heyman brings up Roman Reigns once again. And Solo Sikoa hates it. He doesn't want it. He wants Paul Heyman out of the new young bloodline. And I'm pretty sure that's something that doesn't really come to a surprise. Um, I feel like at this point, Roman Reigns doesn't really belong in the bloodline. I feel like it should, obviously they're going to keep this promo, they're going to keep this storyline, kind of keeping, as long as they could until Roman Reigns comes back to the WWE, which I believe isn't anytime soon. I would probably expect him maybe a little after Survivor Series, if not maybe around the same time as I don't want to say the Royal Rumble. He comes back and wins it, but it would be kind of badass if he did. But I don't know. I just feel like he said, this isn't a bloodline. This isn't a bloodline. Once again, talking about Roman Reigns. Once again, we're talking about respect for your opponent. But these hoodlums, they're not looking for respect. They want their random acts of violence. Like, and even Paul Heyman was getting a little crazy about it. And I was like, dude, Paul Heyman cuts the greatest promos. It's crazy. So and then Kevin Owens, of course, had to be like, you're just Paul Heyman. This is the reason why you are. This is the reason why you're so successful. Is because Kevin Owens, because Brock Lesnar, not Brock Lesnar, God damn it, because Paul Heyman feels like he, even if the person he's representing kind of sucks, Like he kind of ultimately has to be that, he kind of has to be that pillar. He has to be that, that strength. He has to be the reason why people watch this certain superstar and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like I said before, I did a segment on this probably like 2 weeks ago on my podcast about how Brock Lesnar should how Paul Heyman should quit the bloodline. I feel like he should. I feel like at this point, like Solo doesn't need him. He doesn't really want him. I feel like, you have Tomatunga and Tangaloa, they're complete, absolute random acts of violence. These hoodlums have invaded the bloodline. Like it's like his passion is just like so, I don't know. It's pretty crazy, and I'm wondering how the bloodline's going to kind of revive from this. I, and I got a comment from Ralph Rodriguez said Roman is supposed to be back around SummerSlam, and I don't think he's going to be. To be honest, I don't think he's going to be. It's too soon, a lot too soon right now. You kind of have to establish Solo Sikoa as the tribal chief. If Roman Reigns comes back, people are expecting, oh, it's Roman against Solo. But you have Roman, all of his accolades, and then you have Solo Sikoa. What the hell does Solo Sikoa have? Before his recent stint with the Young Bloodline, he's a loser. He's been a loser for the longest time. The last win he had was against John Cena. Like, they're still trying to build up Solo Sikoa to this point where maybe if Roman Reigns comes back, it's like it's a legitimate fight. But right now it'd be like taking candy from a baby. Roman Reigns would absolutely destroy Solo Sikoa. And that's why it kind of got me thinking that maybe The Rock comes back to try to back Solo, tells Roman like, "Hey, we got to stop about this respect stuff. We kind of have to, we can't keep doing this. I support the young bloodline." Roman grabs Jimmy and Jay and perhaps maybe Sami Zayn, and he's like, "You know what? These are the guys that was built on respect. Although we did cause some shenanigans back in WWE when, in our heyday, um, I feel like it's going to be based on respect, and it's crazy." And I agree. I agree. There is no bloodline without Roman Reigns, but Solo Sikoa is trying to recruit. Obviously, he has Tamatonga and Tangaloa. I feel like, obviously we're still waiting on Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu still recently signed from MLW. Still kind of waiting on him to make an appearance. Wouldn't surprise me if he's the one that makes his debut during SummerSlam. But and the reason why WWE did not bring in Jacob Fatu yet is because he would outshine Solo Sikoa, and it's been recorded through articles and stuff like that from WWE Creative. They're like, you know what, right now we're trying to build up Solo. So I feel like this bloodline versus the legacy or the pride, you're gonna have Solo Sikoa fight Bobby Lashley. And poor Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley has always kind of been like a stepping stone to like the next guy. But if Solo Sikoa beats Bobby Lashley, he's kind of up in that main card. He's kind of up in that main eventer immediately. And that's kind of, and it's kind of crazy. And I feel like that's unfair to Lashley. But WWE needs to do something to establish more of a, more as Solo Sikoa as a threat, more as him, like, even if Roman Reigns comes back, kind of like, hey, you can't really trust Solo, man. Solo is better than you. Solo could be the tribal chief. Right now, if Roman Reigns comes back, there's no doubt in my mind that he would be like, he would just tower over him. And people would look at it like WWE fans, wrestling fans would kind of look at it and be like, dude, this is a joke. Like, I feel like there should have been better bookings, better build up. So that's why I feel like, and oh my God, you are reading my mind right now, Ralph. Solo Sikoa needs to learn how to cut a promo. He can't. He really honestly can't. He can't cut a good promo right now. I know it kind of took Roman Reigns a little, a little time. I remember that, that episode of Monday Night Raw when John Cena came out and he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I can wait. Like, I can wait. Like, this is cutting the promo, kid. You're going to have to learn how to do it. I'm only back because you can't do your job." And I feel like maybe Solo Sikoa is learning the hard way. But I agree 110% that Solo Sikoa cannot cut a good promo to save his life. But yeah, on Tamatonga, I feel like this should ultimately be the Pride versus the Bloodline heading forward. Running out of time, so we're gonna kind of wrap this up. We have Bailey and Naomi against Niven and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green and Niven win the championship. not championship. They win the match clearly, which I respected. Something that you kind of see from this Paul Levesque era in terms of WWE is matches that aren't, disqualification or count out or interference and stuff like that. And that's what WWE should have been about for the longest time. Like, I know, like, I don't want to sound like kind of a jerk, but like people are like, oh, it's already choreographed to begin with. It's not like the UFC. It's not like mixed martial arts and stuff like that. You don't really have a genuine winner. So why should I respect them as an athlete, champion, or as a professional wrestler? And this is something that, I feel like that should be kind of a trend for WWE kind of moving forward. And kind of lastly, kind of touching on this, AJ Styles pulled a Mark Henry. He faked a retirement just to attack the champion. Obviously, Mark Henry did it to John Cena. Now you see AJ Styles do it to the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, which I kind of felt bad for Cody, but I was like, dude, I think we all knew that AJ Styles wasn't going to retire. Ever since TNA and WWE, it's kind of had this crossover. A lot of people kind of think that AJ Styles is going to go down to TNA, kind of finish his what is it, his story. But I don't know. AJ Styles is once again showing why he's going to fight Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes does not have an opponent at SummerSlam. So, but AJ Styles has to start from the bottom. He has to start from the bottom. But I can imagine you really don't have anybody to fight not Logan Paul, but to fight Cody Rhodes right now. So there's probably going to be like, oh god, and I hate it. I hate it. There's probably going to be like an over the top rope battle royal to determine who's the number one contender, which I kind of hate. I'd rather have a gauntlet match. I'd rather have a gauntlet match, or I'd rather have like an AEW casino gauntlet match where people just keep coming in and you got to try to beat them up as soon as they can. But I don't know. I think it'd be kind of pretty badass to kind of have the number one contender decided off of that. Well, guys, do not go anywhere. First segment is done. We're going to move on to our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. Like I said, it is airing right now. It's already aired on the East Coast. I swear to God, I have not looked at a single shred of social media feeds from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok or whatever. So, I'm just right there with you guys. I have no idea what went on. I have it taped. Can't wait to watch it. So, yeah, just stay tuned and we're going to get into that. So, hey, stay tuned.